Hey everyone, my name is Danilo Petrovic.
I'm Ilya Marchenko.
I'm Denis Kudla.
I'm Evgeny Donskoy.
I'm Henry Laaksonen.
I'm Peter Torebko, and you're listening to the Game to Love podcast.
Hey, we're back. Game to Love, bringing it to you, and a bit of a different theme this in this podcast. We obviously had a lot of tournaments just finishing. This is building up to one that has not yet begun. So JG, a bit of Australian Open chat today. Looking forward to that.
Well, it's nice if you can actually schedule some time to talk about it. Obviously, it was all going off when we was covering Delray Beach, obviously Abu Dhabi and Antela last week.
Yep.
We was watching some of the qualifiers. I know you did a good live watch along. Kept me busy during work.
Mate, that's it. I'm always working, isn't it? If I've got a spare day, then there's always going to be a bit of tennis to report on. So, yeah, I did my best on my own.
Mate, it felt weird. I felt like I was one of the fans watching it. It's actually quite fun to watch. So I can see where all these other guys get their hype from. It's good fun watching a live watch along.
Lucky it was like 10 in the morning. I wasn't allowed to have a beer at that time, so that's probably why it went a bit better. So good to have everybody here with us, joining us. Good to see you guys. Got Thomas Rock there, Jordan Sunter, and Almino. Nice to see you guys.
Yeah, I think it's early on. What's it? Obviously he's in Australia. I think he said
really?
It's like 4 in the morning there, 4:20 in the morning. So
that's
fair play,
hardcore.
Almina. That's some dedication right there.
Yeah, we love that.
And yeah, like Ben was saying, we're going to be talking about all the qualifiers today. We've got the Men's Qualifiers, the Women's Qualifiers. And what we've done on each is we've highlighted 5 of the ones we feel are like must watches. Obviously, it depends who they get in the draw. The draw's not been announced yet. But we're doing a draw preview when that does get announced. But these players, for me, on both sides, I don't want to sound too naive. I think some of them have a real good chance of progressing in this tournament and being a bit of a surprise, that sort of a dark horse.
Well, yeah, exactly right. That's sort of the main reason that we're doing it, isn't it? Yeah. Obviously, we've got some surprise, sort of shock people on the women's side, and we've got some people that we were just really hoping to go through on the men's side. And obviously, there's a few people that probably fell by the wayside. Unfortunately, people like maybe Lorenzo Musetti would have loved to have seen him sneak through, but more of a clay court. I'd be more disappointed if I don't see him in the French.
Yeah,
I'm honest.
I feel like Stebby was disappointing, him not qualifying. Even Nakashima as well. There's a few of the names where they come quite close. Borna Gojo.
But come on.
It comes at Laxonen's expense, so we'll deal with it.
Yeah, we like Laxonen going through. Yeah, I mean, when you're saying there with Nakashima, it's all about the draw, though, and he got drawn against Aslan Karatsev in the first round of qualifying, which is take your pick. That can be a worse pick in your qualifying, I don't think, than Aslan Karatsev.
James is a big fan of him, and we will be talking about this guy for sure. So, without further ado, Ben, shall we get straight into it?
I think we should.
Where did you want to start? Should we start with the men or the women first?
I think we should start. I think we should start with the men.
Yeah, I feel like we always do usually. So let's just do that. So in normal fashion, I don't know if you've got the sheet up, Ben, where you've got all the names on there. Have you got that up?
Yeah, I've got the sheet with the names up. Did you want to look through the results first, or do you want to actually just go straight in at number 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5 we're going to have a look at?
Well, let's get the flash scores up then first, and we'll have a look at the actual results as a whole.
Yeah, okay. So we're just going to look through the final round of qualifying. We're not going to go through every single qualification match.
Pointless.
We'd be here all evening otherwise, which would be to some people's joy and other people's, it wouldn't be so great. So here we go. I'm just going to pull this up. Excuse me for 2 ticks. Here we go. So we'll just have a look. Let me know if you can see it or if you can't see it.
Yeah, no, I can see it perfect, mate. So the first one, Tara Daniel went out. He comes so close. Elias Weimer managed to beat him there. Laxonen, we've had him on the podcast.
Yeah.
That was a close one. I feel sorry for Borna Gojo. Look, 2 tie breaks really was kind of finished him off. Oh, no, he won the first one, didn't he? But the Ferner one was a really close one, 10-7.
Laxton's a grinder, mate. This is the thing. He knows how to get through those qualifiers. He always seems to get himself into these Grand Slams. That's credit to him. It's never easy, and a lot of people have been saying like qualification for Grand Slams is brutal, and that's what they were saying in the one that I was doing for Alcaraz. It's just horrendous. Like the people you have to play, you could potentially have like. It's like a death match each time you're playing in these ones. Like
well, for the Grand Slam, it's work. You got to win 3 matches, didn't you? So it's even tougher. And all these players, it all depends who you get. I feel like some people have easier draws. Sometimes you can have a walkover. Other times you're going to be playing 3 top players, and it's just I feel sorry for them guys. But if you can do it, you kind of deserve to be there, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, so we'll have a look down at just some of the players that we aren't going to mention as part of our thing. Maybe Copper Jans, I think this Belgian guy, I think this is a ridiculous result. 6-love and 6-2 against Demir.
Yeah, we was having a debate because I know you wanted to put Copper Jans on our top 5. I opted off it just purely for the fact that the other guy I've got at number 5, I feel like he's a bit of a controversial character. Probably Copper Jans could have been there on merit. He's a quality player. I really enjoy watching him, and to be beating Tamir Zmar 6-2, 6-love's crazy. So watch out for him. Victor Troicki, the experienced head, he's been in so many. I saw this. I forget the actual number now, but I think him and Sikorsky, they've qualified now for so many Grand Slam main draws. It's crazy. It's unfortunate they've never really been able to reach the heights of getting close to ever really winning any, but they've still always been in the hat.
Yeah, and like you said, it's just unfortunate that the Stebe or Stebby or however you want to call him, unfortunately, didn't get to go through. He was actually leading in their first set and then just got done over by Troicki. Troicki's a real tricky customer. Yeah. But don't forget, he probably trains with Djokovic, so not going to have an easy day at the office, even in training, if you're Victor Troicki.
Yeah, quick shout out to Thomas Rock there as well. With a 199 tip saying JG hair is styling. Yeah, I got the hat off today. My hair's getting long, but I thought just let the locks flow a bit.
Oh, mate, you only want to see mine. The locks are very long right now. It's just like you can probably see it around the back. Look at this. Look how long it is right now.
Gosh, yeah.
I'm gonna start looking like.
You could probably tie it up. Not gonna lie, no.
Mate, I think I can. Look, I'll give you a whirl. Look at this. This is how much hair is underneath this hat right now. This is like COVID hair right now. So we'll put that back away again. You can see I'm still in my decorating hat. I've been decorating in my tennis hat. It's got all plaster and stuff all over it. But anyway, it's enough of that.
Another thing. Shout out to Jordan Sunter as well. He's followed up with another super chat, $9.99. Cheers, mate. It's good to see you back on the channel. We've not seen you for a while. Obviously, a fan from the UK, one of the UK boys. And we'll be talking about some of the British players actually on the women's side later on. So stay tuned for that.
That's it. Yeah, let's move down. Apparently, Thomas Rock kind of looks like Steven Seagal. Apparently, so that'd be quite an interesting look. Do you have the skills to match though? Do you have the kung fu or whatever it is he's doing in his spare time? Bit of an odd character, Steven Seagal, but some good movies. Anyway, mind your neck, Rinder neck, mate, went out. Disappointed in that. I was hoping he'd make it through to the main draw, but Michael Momo, he's through. I don't know if it's Momo or Mo.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a close one. Doesn't really scream excitement. Mo doesn't. I think he's okay in early rounds. He's very much a challenger player, but even then he struggles at times for me, and especially when we get to the semi-finals, finals. So yeah, moving away from him. Alcaraz, we'll talk about him later on. Xander Slut, we'll definitely be talking about him, and same with Karatsev. Yeah. But just look at that Karatsev score there. Just pay attention to it because it is actually remarkable. I've been bigging this guy up for so long now. I feel like most of last year, we actually included him in the award ceremony as on the ATP tour. What did we put him as? One of the most improved players of the year. Yeah, I mean, he didn't win the award, but he was certainly up for the discussion. And you've got to consider him. He's obviously been called up to the ATP Cup team for Russia as well. When you look at the type of players Russia have, that is just phenomenal that he's even being included. And he's not a spring chicken in age. He's sort of flourished later on.
Yeah, he has. And something that you want to point out, because everybody there's probably people who don't really know, or they're not so in the know of who's playing who. They might have seen Karatsev, he's played a few ATPs. Probably look at Muller and think like, oh, well, he should beat him anyway. This is one player I was going to bring up because I didn't know who he was playing in the next round. It was Karatsev. I thought this is a guy to watch.
Yeah,
this is
you thought he could qualify. I remember you saying you really like him and you think he's a top player.
Well, the reason being, I'm just going to bring this up just quickly for a second, just so I can show you guys. This is the sort of form that he was having going into this. So look at the players that he's been beating. He's been beating obviously Marchenko there, Jay Clark. Been beating he beat Polanski 6-1-6 love in the qualifier before that. That's how good this guy is. Beat Pedro
I don't really
Sousa.
rate Polanski, but I think that Goa one's really impressive as well.
Jamino Valero, Zapata Morales, Talon Giric. This is what I mean. This guy, look how much green he's got on his record. So
yeah, against some top players as well. I think he's maybe better on clay.
Yeah.
But yeah, regardless, he still managed to do it. You could probably say Aslan Karatsev is better on clay as well. So it just shows the sort of ilk Karatsev did. What is he at now? 112 was that? I think.
112. Yeah. Sorry, I'll just put the results back up again. Unless you just want to go straight into. I think we just had a quick look briefly down there. Maybe
I think we went through all of them. So let's just go straight into it. Should we start off with number 5?
Who's number 5? Are we going straight down the list from top to bottom?
No, from 5 to 5. Yeah, sorry, it's not in order on your seat.
Okay, yeah, God. Sorry.
I've got the number next to it, sorry.
No, you have. You're very prepared today. Very impressed with you today. I feel like that all I'm doing is just like I've been bumbling around doing work. As soon as I finish work, doing some decorating. And you've got your new screens at home and a new desk set up there, and it's all going well. The new JG.
Mate, more organised for a change.
Loving it, mate. Love this.
2021. Here we go. So number 5.
Number 5. A quick bang there. Bang, it
doesn't last for long, but that's it. And our number 5 is Ben. Do you want to announce it?
Yeah, our number 5 player to watch out for in the first round, who's come through the qualification, is Bernard Tomic. I don't know shall I bring up some sort of little graphic of just like maybe I'll just bring up his recent result and we can see how he did in the last round of the qualifying, and we can just have a word about him.
We'll bring him up and then we'll look at who he beat, the 3 players in the qualifier. We'll do that for all of these. But just while you're doing that, Bernard Tomic, you've got to be honest. Did anyone really expect him to be playing in this tournament or qualifying? He's a player for me he's been known for getting fines. He's always a bit controversial in his playing style, his attitude. It's always been questioned. Bit of a joke, really, on the tour, I would say. Is that being harsh? I don't know. I feel like he's been around for a while, but he's not really the most loved player in the world.
No,
but you can't really. You can't go against his talent. The guy is talented at tennis. There's no two ways about it. And when he's on, he can pull out good results. He's never really going to amount to loads, personally. Like, I don't see him ever going that deep into a tournament. But his grit and determination, I saw this in the 3 qualifiers. Yeah. Actually really impressive because he beat some good guys. And I thought in a very convincing fashion, considering at times he was under pressure. I think I forget which one it was, but he maybe faced, I don't know if it was a match point, but it was down a break and one of the players was maybe serving for the match.
In this match or in the last one?
Have a look on the 3rd set. I'm not sure. Right. It might have been this one.
No, I think this one might have been the last match.
Yeah, regardless, he come in some very close matches and he come through it in the end. Obviously, there he's dropped a set each time. I don't think he's going to do anything of note, but I feel like you've got to include Bernard Tomic for getting there.
Well, you look at look. It's quite weird that you see the draw that he's had as well, because the first round was, if anything, the most impressive for me. Like Kovalik is a real good player, and maybe more on a bit of clay court, but really tough to get past. And then you see the other 2 players he's been drawn against Australians, so an all Aussie affair.
Well, that Shulkaki guy, I'm not sorry about the pronunciation, but he's a really good prospect, young guy, and he's extremely good. Who did he beat in the first? Oh yeah, is it School? I can't see it, Ben.
I've been calling him School Kate for some reason. I don't know if that's really the right pronunciation of his name. There you go. Sorry.
Oh, there we go. That's better. But yeah, him. He's a really good player. So he beat him, and yeah, Thomas Rock saying here, Tomic's the only dude I've ever seen to hit a top spin drop shot. And Jordan says, he also makes Kyrgios look like a hard-working guy.
Yeah, and that was the player that he actually did save the match points again, or the one match point, let's say, against, and then he managed to come back and push it to the tiebreak. And well, this guy, I don't know if it's right. I'm going to keep calling him School Kate, but School Kate, this is his ranking's 839 at the moment, so pretty impressive to be playing so well. I think he does just really well when he's in Australia, to be honest, though. I think he just like thrives in his own climate and really does well. There's obviously no fans, but bear in mind, this wasn't being actually played in Australia, though, was it? This was being played in Doha, and Tomic came out and said that he risked his life to go out there to do this and to get through. So he was just, that's what he said. That's his statement.
He's a bit dramatic, isn't he? He's a character not many people really like, but I feel like you've got to include him. He's been on the tour for a long time. And I must admit, I wrote him off. I did not see him getting all the way and qualifying. But so let's move on to number 4, because we've got a few to get through. Obviously, we're doing the women's as well. So let's go. Who's going to be our number 4?
Number 4, a little bang there. Ooh. Number 4 is a player which, he could arguably be higher than number 4. This guy, I know we've spoken about him before on the podcast. He comes from, I believe it's Czech Republic. His name, I believe he's 19 years old, if I'm not so much mistaken. No, 20. He's
all 20.
He's turned 20. Oh yeah, apologies. Yeah. Sorry, it was just that I was just trying to guess off the top of my head. Yeah, he's 20. He's 20 years old, but he went through in impressive fashion as well against a real good player, hardcourt player in Mikhail Torpgaard. Did really well. It's fantastic. Sorry, I haven't brought up any of his other matches there. Oh, sorry. There you go. I'll just bring that up. There you go. So you can see who he's.
Can you just go down just to him down the bottom?
Yeah. Sorry. I'll zoom in a bit. There you go. So as you can see there, he's gone through against João Dominguez, Meligeni Rodriguez Alves. That's a mouthful, that one, isn't
clay
it?
Quarter.
Yeah, both
and
clay quarters.
Torpgaard's obviously very good on hard courts, but he didn't proper set each time, and he was very convincing in all 3. The guy's also done back-to-back now Grand Slams, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if you want to go on his other results. Just to clarify
he has indeed. He is his. Oh, 1 second. I will just go down, and we can just go back all the way to the French Open, where you can see here he qualified for the French Open, went through 3 rounds of qualifying here. Lenz, Goseda, and Ferreira Silva, and then lost in 5 to Taylor Fritz.
Yeah, so who's obviously like top 30, top 20. So it's an incredible player. Only 20 years old. This is someone to certainly watch, and I feel like he can be very dangerous this tournament. I think he's really good on either surface. Really, he can play on clay, on hard courts. He's very versatile. And as we've seen there from them 3 results, obviously, I think Torpgaard's the most impressive, obviously, in the final qualifier, being, 6-1, 6-2, was it?
Yeah, 6-1, 6-2. I mean, really, really impressive.
You wouldn't want to play him. You wouldn't want to play him. Even one of the top guys, you don't really want to be playing a Thomas Machac right now. I think he's just super dangerous and certainly one to watch for the future.
He's thriving as well. He's just got all that confidence on the court. So... yeah, definitely one to watch. 197 in the world.
Personally, I see him breaking. I'm going to make a big prediction. I think he can break the top 100 this year.
Yeah,
I really do. Watch out for him. I think he's going to be on the rise. And I know we did another podcast the other day about buying shares in players. I'd probably buy a few in him as well.
Oh well, for sure. I mean, he is definitely a rising star in the game. Just not on many people's radar, really, though. I mean, he's snuck into, obviously, the French Open, but still probably not many people talking about him. And that might do him a world of good. No one, he doesn't have the same, I don't know, the spotlight isn't on him as much. To say that the other youngsters, they have a lot of pressure. So let's move over to, is it going to be number 3, this one?
Yep. So here we go, number 3.
Number 3 with our great graphics, which are knocked up by myself. Here we go. So this guy, it is. Oh, what's his first name? I'm not sure how to pronounce the first name. Botic or Botic?
Botic Van De Zandschulp.
Botic? Yeah,
So
Van De
Botic
Zandschulp.
Van De Zandschulp. He's 156 in the world. He's 25 years old, 6'2". He's quite tall, and he's a very powerful player, predominantly a hard court player. We were speaking to, who is it the other day? One of the players. Was it Huesler?
Huesler played him in the final and actually managed to beat him just in over 3 tie breaks in I think it was a match on carpet, I think. Maybe.
Yeah, it was indoor. On carpet,
yeah, so really good player. He's at that level around the 150 mark. But you can just see like Borg's.
He's another one who can break the top 100, and he's just super dangerous. This surface, I think he's going to thrive in the conditions personally, and he's just another one you just wouldn't want to play personally. If say a Tsitsipas versus Van De Zandschulp played, and Tsitsipas was having a really one of them off days, he's just not the qualifier you want to be coming up against personally, because he's a grinder and he will always perform. I feel he's just so consistent. He's so good. Obviously, the big one there, the first one, he knocked out Musetti. It's not really Musetti's surface, but still, it's one of the most promising young players in the world right now, and he managed to do that relatively convincingly, even though it was 3 sets. And then he followed up with another win against Menezes from Brazil, and the big one is Borge.
Look, and he overturned the defeat to Borge. Literally 3 matches ago. It was on clay, but must be nice to get the win back over him on the hard court. That's where his bread and butter is, Van De Zandschulp. He's got that huge serve, and that really it's been firing for the best part of the last 6 months since I've been watching him, and it doesn't let him down very often. So
I remember Hesper de Jong was talking about him as well, wasn't he? And he was saying he's scary. He's scary to play. Like, they're all scared. All the Dutch players are scared to play him because he's just so brutal. Like in training, then they do like little training matches or whatever. He takes everything so seriously, and he's very much a competitor. He's so competitive with all the other fellow Dutch players.
Oh yeah, you see they even there, like just go down the bottom there. Look who's beat Benjamin Bonzi as well. That's a really good, and beat
straight sets, is that?
Stebby as well. Steve. Yeah, Marchenko, not an easy player to play on hard court, that's for sure. Laxonen there as well. See, he's just made of very, very stern stuff. And if his serve is going, I wouldn't want to be playing him if you're one of these higher seed. Well, not higher seed, but I'd say if you're in and around the, say, 50 to 70 mark in the world, I don't think you want to come up against this guy. I think he could potentially take you out. Yeah,
no, agreed. Like, if any top player's not on there, not really playing very well and having a bit of an off day, I don't think he's the type of guy to sort of roll over and start matching their level. I feel like he will just play at his level regardless.
Yeah.
Seems quite a confident player as well. He's not actually that young. I think he's like 25, 26, isn't he? So he's got that sort of experienced head as well to match it. And yeah, certainly a very dangerous player. Yeah, so let's go on to number 2. number 2 is
Numero dos. And so numero dos is I'm using this language for that very reason. And I'm sure you can probably guess who it is. It is indeed our little friend from Spain. It is Carlos Alcaraz. And yeah, well, you all saw, if you joined with the live watch along the other day, I'll get down to his results down here so we can just have a quick look at all the green. Look at all the green.
Alcaraz, in Spain, mate. On Spain in clay. God,
it's like Rafa all
It's like
over.
A Rafa, yeah. And it is amazing. I saw there was a graphic of when Nadal qualified for his first Australian Open. And I think there's only like a few months between the two. They showed both pictures of them when they first qualified. It is amazing. I know they're doing it. The problem is, what does get me down a little bit is already this guy's come with a ridiculous amount of pressure and hype. I just hope he can live up to it. I feel like to me, he seems like he's doing a pretty good job at it, not going to lie. But just people need to stay level-headed with him in the Australian Open this year and not get too carried away, ourselves included. We're going to be expecting him, we'll fly through the first round, maybe the second round. If he goes out in the first round, it's probably quite likely it can happen.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's not a bad thing to happen either, because he's so young. He's learning the trade. His first Grand Slam, never played best of 5. So let's just give him the benefit of the doubt and see how he gets on. But then saying all of that, look at the 3P players he's beaten, getting through. He beat Horansky, Karlovsky, and Delian. Delian, it was actually in some crazy form coming into it. He beat Taberna 6-love, 6-1 in the qualifying round before.
I was going to show that. Tabilo as well.
Tabilo, sorry. It wasn't. Yeah, it was Tabilo. That was the one.
He beat him 6-1, 6-love. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. 6-1, 6-love against Tabilo.
I always get Taberna and Tabilo mixed up because they're the two tabs, mate. Yeah,
no, it's easily done. Obviously, Andrew Harris as well, who's a really good Australian player. Obviously, playing against an Aussie. He was the favourite to beat Delian as well, and Delian took him out. And then Alcaraz, it was like a sort of demolition job a little bit. The only thing that was going to lose Alcaraz that match against Delian was Alcaraz. It wasn't going to be Delian. There didn't really seem to be. There wasn't much that he was offering Delian. It was Delian had the odd good shot, but it wasn't enough to formulate a good game plan to win. Whereas Alcaraz got sight of so many second serves, and I think Delian's second serve win percentage was 15%. In the whole match. That's ridiculous. And that was due to Alcaraz stepping in every time and finishing it off with winners. So well done to him. He stepped up finally, and we're going to see him, mate. He's going there. He's going to Australia. He is in the Australian Open. He isn't even in Australia.
Mate, I'd go as far to say that I would love to even watch his first match and do maybe a watch along for it. I think it could be a bit of history in terms
we're doing it. I don't care when it is, what time it is, we're doing it.
The reason, exactly. I stand by that. And the reason is I do generally believe this guy is going to be the next best thing. I honestly, after the big 3, it's going to take probably 4 years, maybe 5. I don't even know how long. It's hard to say. But I really believe in him a lot.
Right, we do.
Everything I see from him, it's not even his shots. It's his calmness, the type of shot he plays. And he just doesn't seem to have a weakness at such a young age.
He's got variety in his game. He's got a high IQ for such a young player. He's got a good serve, an amazing backhand, great forehand. He has great drop shots as well.
Yeah.
But one of the main things is his first Grand Slam. This is 17 years old. This is fantastic. We did obviously live watch along.
Well, mate, how amazing will it be for us to look back on this watch along when we do it? And then after he's, say, a multiple Grand Slam champion, and look back and watch the watch along of when he won when he entered his first Grand Slam, and it will just be like, I don't know, I think it's quite a special moment in the history of tennis, and certainly for Carlos Alcaraz. You've got Melez there in the chat saying JG will ban Alcaraz along with Ken if he beats Rafa.
You're gonna have to send your hat back, I think, if that happens.
Well, I'll send the hat back. I'll have to get a CA one, maybe.
Yeah, mate. Why not? Carlos Alcaraz, mate. He's here to stay, that's for sure. This is the one thing that I was saying. Musetti, he's the other guy that we have been so.
Oh, there's another one as well, mate. And Thomas Rock brings him up. Crack Alcaraz or Rusty Sinner.
Yeah, this is what I mean. But we did already do, because Musetti was in a Masters. And we did a watch along for him to watch him win. This is even bigger. This is another young guy, but he's in his first Grand Slam. And he's been through 3 rounds of qualifying. He didn't make it through the first round of qualifying in the French Open, which we expected him to do even better in.
Yeah.
Now he's in the hard court one, and he seems like, I don't know, like years above his actual age. It's just fantastic.
Says GTL history. I think it's tennis history, not even GTL. And it's not even just Alcaraz. Machac as well, Van De Zandschulp, Karatsev. There's so many other ones who I'm really excited to see this tournament. And hopefully we can try and watch as many of them as possible, personally.
Well, mate, I think we'd have to definitely do a watch along for definitely his first match. But if he gets through, I think we're going to follow this guy in every one of his matches because he deserves it. This guy Like, we've been following him for a long time.
Well, not just that. I want to be part of the train. I want to be part of the hype where we can literally be there for all of them and just rave off it. The only thing is, one of us is going to have to not have the Spanish flag, and that's probably going to be you.
Why me? Oh, you can't just be throwing me under the bus, mate. I think we're just going to be all-out Alcaraz fanboys. I've been posting a few things on Instagram, and then he's been checking them out, which is pretty cool as well. So it's always good to know that Alcaraz is seeing the posts. We're cheering him on. So you never know. Alcaraz might be here on the GTL podcast at some point in the future. You just watch this space. I think that if we can get to him before he gets too big, that's the key.
Yeah, Meles there saying wildlife delivery nipped me off the board by 1 penny. He's noticed. Yeah, well, he got there on, I think it was one of the live watch-alongs. Yeah, and he did it purely just to spite you, Meles, I'm afraid. Yeah, 2021 and nothing's changed.
I know, the battle continues, and the battle for fourth place, Wildlife and Meles there.
Well, talking about the battle, let's go straight to number one, because we're eating into this podcast, and our number one is...
Boom, it's the guy that we were talking about before, the guy who's a bit of a machine, and we were shocked to see him up against... obviously, Brandon Nakashima in the first round. It's Aslan Karatsev, and some people might have even tipped him to beat Nakashima. No, to lose to Nakashima, because Nakashima is an absolute beast, young player coming up, but not to be. This guy is the real deal, I think, Aslan Karatsev, and he showed it in St. Petersburg, didn't he? When he was playing.
There's so much to talk about with Aslan Karatsev. I just don't know where to begin. 2020 was just one of the most phenomenal years for him. He was, I don't even know where in the rankings, must have been way past 300. And now he's 112 in the world. He's 27 years old, 6'1", and he's just a bit of a beast, mate. Like, he just went on such a crazy winning run in 2020. I think straight after the pandemic, really. He come back as one of the strongest players on tour. Unfortunately, Stan Wawrinka was able to just beat him in the final of Prague. The next one, he entered Prague again, Prague number 2, and he went all the way and won that one, exactly. Beating someone good in the final. I forget exactly who, but if you get up just some of his results, you can just see all the green. It is crazy. This guy has just been winning more or less everything. You can see there the one loss, which was actually against Stan Wawrinka. I think we can really let him off for that one. I think one of them was maybe a tie break, the first set. Is that right?
I believe so. It was tiebreak first set in 6-4 in the second. So it wasn't.
So it wasn't like he got obliterated by Stan Wawrinka either. And even before that, Robin Haase. Look at that. If you go down, Ben.
Yeah. Sorry. Apologies. Well, keep going.
Yeah. Well, there's some of the things, but yeah, we keep going up now. We've seen all of that. He's been winning a lot of matches, and he's a crazy good player. There's a lot of green there, not much red whatsoever. And then let's talk about him in the French Open. Obviously, he qualified for is that the French Open he qualified? Oh, no, he didn't manage to qualify for the French Open. Do you remember? Because he lost to Korda, and that was a bit of a surprise. But then Korda, we know how well he did in the French Open. We know how good he can be. So you can kind of let him off there as well.
Yeah, I mean, Korda, incredible, to be honest, in that French Open. So Karatsev, if that had been anybody else, probably, you'd have seen him in the French Open. Yeah. And as you can say, as you were saying, look at all the green there. Since tennis came back and he got into actual tournaments again, it was just a non-stop train of wins here. Look, I mean, Golbis, Laxonen, Herbert, only Wawrinka stopped him. Then you've got all these other players. You've got Golbis again. You've got, Wawrinka stepped aside. Popko, Grixwell, Machac, we've been talking about. Golbis again.
Well, look how he beat Machac as well. Straight sets. You can see there, even in the Czech Republic, he didn't even drop many sets, to be honest, to the guy. He is an absolute machine. There's no two ways about it. Yeah. And he is our number one pick purely because I think he's just the most dangerous out of the ones we've mentioned right now. Alcaraz, he can perform on his day and he's a really big talent for the future. But if you're talking about right now, this guy is scary good. For someone 127 in the world, we're going to be seeing him in the ATP Cup, and rightfully so. We saw him against his fellow Russian compatriot, who's obviously a really top player in St. Petersburg, in Russia in itself. And he was very close to beating Aaron Khachanov there. Beat Tennis Sangren in the round before.
Yep.
So let's just see how this goes, because then after that, Golbis, Poprin, these are top 50 players. He lost to Seppi a bit unfortunately, but Seppi, we know how good he can be. So honestly, this guy is super dangerous, and I would not want to be playing him.
No, definitely not. Definitely
But
not.
on that, I can't wait to watch him. Let's see how far he goes.
Mate,
and for me personally, I don't see him. I would say maybe it would be a bit disappointing if he goes out in the first round. Obviously, he's probably going to be playing against one of the really good players. But I just generally would maybe tip an upset for whoever he's playing in the first round. I think he can win it.
Well, yeah, like you were saying, he's obviously started the year in 2020. I believe he was like close to 300 in the world.
Yeah.
So, and you see at the end of the year, he's up to 112 in the world. So, what a rapid ascent that this guy has had from such an incredible year. Obviously, something's just clicked for him. Don't know what it is, but it's working. So, long may it continue. So, he's obviously 27 years old. Maybe just hitting his prime. And that's just the thing. You don't even know when these tennis players are going to hit their prime.
Yeah.
And this is his time right now, I think. And be wary, whoever is playing him in this first round. And even like we said with the other guys, you might not want to meet him if you're maybe 50, 70. I think this guy can take out people inside the top 50. I mean, that's an honest assumption with Karatsev.
I agree completely. We've got Meles. They're saying Alcaraz is better than Karatsev. I don't think so right now, but maybe. You never know. On clay, I think it'd be an epic match to watch. I must admit, I'd love to see the matchup. Ivan there saying Alcaraz is so good. The future of Spanish tennis, of course. I think it's the future of tennis, not even just Spanish. So let's see how that goes. We'll move on to the women, because I think we've spent quite enough on the men right now. So let's go straight in at number 5 for the women. Or should we look at? Let's go through some of the ones we're not going to be talking about. Maybe we'll just do a quick one on flash scores, just so we're consistent with what we did with the men.
All right, let me just bring up the flash score for that one. Bear with me 2 ticks.
No worries. So while you do that, I'll just be talking about what we're going to be doing with this. So we'll have a look at some of the women who qualified, and then we've picked 5 yet again from obviously our number 1 pick. Who we're most excited to be seeing in the Australian Open. Yeah. And there's actually some good names in this year, I think.
Very good ones. Yeah. Some very, very good names, and some names that we haven't seen for a while as well in this Australian Open. So we'll just have a quick look down this list of the final qualifiers there. And some interesting matches that were flying around there. Interesting names as well. So for some people, you're just I'm surprised to even see in qualifying. I don't know if you're the same with that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think it's different, isn't it, for the women's? I feel like there's maybe some higher ranked ones still qualifying. I don't know, maybe not. I guess it's the same. I think it's just different. Maybe we don't watch as much women's as what we do men, so it seems a bit like that. But if you go to the top bench, sorry a sec, I just wanted to talk about what was it? Ankita Raina there. It's a bit unfortunate. Obviously, we had a number 1 Indian tennis player on the women's side. We spoke to her. She's really nice. Good player as well. She's been doing really well this tournament. I fancied her to maybe nick that and qualify, but wasn't to be, and went out in a third set, which is a bit disappointing in fashion as well. 6-1. But so hopefully she'll be back stronger next year.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed. It was just so sad. Fell down at the last hurdle, and she was looking so promising. Won the second set there as well, and it just all fell apart in the third set. She went 5-love down, and it was that was all she wrote, unfortunately.
Just quickly on the men's, I know Ivan's asking. We've got to already answer, because if you wind back on the podcast, we did speak about Borna Gojo. We're both big fans of him. We think he's a bit of a grinder and certainly a player to watch. I think it was a bit unfortunate playing against a Laxinen. Because Laxinen, I feel like he is the level above right now, a bit more experienced as well. But if another route, and there's a good chance he would have qualified. But I'm sure we're going to see him in many Grand Slams to come. So on the women, the big one there I wanted to talk about was actually Kunja Serrarani. Serrarani, here we go. I don't know if I can deal with it, really. Watching another Serrarani serving failure.
Masterclass, I think the word is. Yeah, well,
I'm just so against her now after seeing that whole performance and that all that stuff last year with who was she playing? The Dutch girl.
Oh, wasn't it
Bertens?
Bertens, wasn't it?
Yeah, Kiki Bertens.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a bit shocking, though, to be honest, that Sarah Rani thing. But she didn't have a bad year last year. She actually had quite a good year. She was playing pretty good tennis. She's probably more latter end of her career now, but she's now proven she can get into another Grand Slam. So she's there to mix up and probably not a player people would really want to meet. She's more a clay courter, but I still wouldn't really want to.
I think people will. It depends, mate. If she has the jips with her serve again, there's no point even bothering.
Yeah,
she's doing underarm serves for a whole thing. I think she's just a bit of a, I don't know. I'm not a big fan. There's a lot of exciting players from Italy, and she's certainly not one of them. Samsonova, happy for her. I like her. She's a good player.
Serenko's good as well. Serenko's a very good Ukrainian player.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about a few of them ones down there. Chloe Paquet.
Yeah, she's
not really
good.
Much to say about that. She's not bad. She's more ITF tennis, to be fair. Chocoretto, the Italian girl, she's Elisabetta. She's more exciting. She reached the final just before the year ended, I think, in Ostrava. She lost the final in straight sets, but certainly got there. So credit to her. And you can see there she won in quite convincing fashion as well, 6-3, 6-1. She could be someone who causes an upset in the first round. So certainly watch out for her. Marino, I'll be honest, not a clue who that is.
That's another match point Canada won't be happy with you,
San Marino, and England usually smack them about 20-0. That's all I know.
The slice isn't going to be happy with you, neither is match point Canada. They're going to be mad at you now if you're disrespecting their young prospect.
Whitney, I want to talk about Whitney at the
Oh, sorry. I was just going to have a quick look. That's not a young prospect. She's 30. Okay. I'll take that all back. Right. Keep going.
Whitney Ozuwigi, big server, very strong player, and can be dangerous, but she's just not very consistent. She tends to have a set off and then comes back and just not someone you can really rely on. But when she's on and she's playing a good set, she can be dangerous. So if she can pull that together, not a player you want to watch. She's got all the weapons. She's got the weaponry. Whether she's got the consistency is another matter altogether. But yeah, that's enough on that. Let's go through our list and we'll go straight in at number 5.
Boom. And okay, so number 5 we have got, and I'm surprised that she's number 5, to be honest, but it is sort of a pretty interesting list that we've got here. And we may as well start with her. She did pretty well at the US Open. I think that was
Roland Garros.
Was it Roland Garros?
Yeah, I don't think she's qualified for that, mate.
Did she not? I thought that she was playing in the. Apologies if I've got that completely mixed up.
It's on the sheet. It's literally, I wrote it all on the sheet.
Oh, apologies. I was just going back through her thing. I didn't go back as far as that. Apologies. Right. Okay. So it was Roland, wasn't it? She played against her because I remember her playing against what's her face, Pliskova.
Yeah. So Pliskova was Roland Garros and she lost. Okay. So she lost against Roland Garros in the first round. She obviously went through 3 rounds prior, and the 3 rounds she went. There we go. You got it up. So if you want to go back slightly, we'll go to that because it's quite an interesting little run she had, and she's a really exciting player. Obviously, I think it's Egypt, isn't it? Not many players from Egypt. The Egyptian fans on Twitter, they love her, rightfully so as well. She's like she's the Mo Salah of tennis, right there. She's where is it? Have you got it up there? Sorry, I can't see it. Oh yeah, French Open. There we go. So she managed to beat McNally. That was the one in the second round, and that was a bit of a shock. Cathy McNally is a seriously good player. I actually watched that match. Funny enough, I was quite fascinated to see how she would get on against Cathy McNally. Yeah, and she managed to beat her in straight sets, and I was a bit blown away. And that's what, from really that moment on, it sort of put her on the radar for me, thinking, oh, you know what, this girl actually is pretty good and is very dangerous. And then you can see there on the ITF circuit, she's very dominant. She wins a lot of matches, a lot of green, and all of this is clay court. So do you want to go up, Ben?
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, the one match I mainly watched was her match against Pliskova, and I was really impressed. Even though she lost,
see it there. That was it. The first round there of against Karolina Pliskova, she lost 2-1. It was very close, very tight.
It was a close match. It was really close, and she really held her. In my opinion, she probably should have won the match. Pliskova didn't look good at all. I don't know how Pliskova just got it over the line in that match. And for me, that really put her on the map. And you see, after that probably gave her so much confidence. And she went on like a storming run after that.
Yeah.
And has only lost once to Kanepi, who's a very good player as well from Estonia. And then after that, look, I mean, she's only look at the player. Look how many wins she's had. It's crazy.
Yeah, certainly an exciting one. Someone to watch. I don't see her really denting too much in, but yeah, for people who don't know who she is, I think she's an exciting qualified to watch. And we saw what she did against Karolina Pliskova. Was unlucky to lose that one, so she's got all the potential.
I was going to say maybe. Sorry, you might see her. I reckon she could get through a round or two. She could potentially push like a third round, maybe. I reckon, and that's I know it's a big ask, but I think she's very powerful. So if she plays her best tennis and somebody has an off day, she could take them out, I think.
Yeah, and going to the comments, I've not been looking at them. They're quite interesting. Apparently, Marino.
Yes.
You should check out her story. She was a former top 30 player, and she retired and came back.
Top 65, sorry.
Oh, top 65. I was going to say, I was a bit surprised that she was a top 65 player. Marie changing her mind. And apparently she retired and come back. So yeah, I don't know too much about her, I must admit. So I'll have to have a look at that.
We love a comeback story.
We do love a comeback story, and you'll be able to tell that by our rankings on this one. We've got Jordan there. He's got to go. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for the tip, mate. And hopefully we'll see you on the next podcast. We're going to be doing plenty more of these. We've also got our top 10 predictions for the year, who we're going to be doing our rankings for both the men and women, maybe, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think we're going to do
them soon.
Yeah, we're going to do, what was it, top 10 ranking by the end of the year in 2021. And we're also going to tell you who we think is going to win each Grand Slam for men's and women's as well.
That's going to be embarrassing. I know that.
But... It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Don't you worry about that, mate. It's going to be good.
Let's get on to number 4.
Number 4. Right. So number 4, player that we don't really ever stop talking about, really, is it? And she sort of blew us away this year, I would say. Kaja Juvan. And if that's the correct pronunciation, we're going to probably get a lot of stick for all our pronunciations, to be honest. But I believe that is the correct pronunciation. She managed to go through in the final round against Shramkova. So I'll just bring that one up for you.
Well, she's 104 in the world. She's 20 years old. So she's still really young, bags of potential. And 2019 is where she sort of really burst on the scene. That's where she made her first sort of Grand Slam main draw, Roland Garros. And then also just like on the WTA tour before that. So she's a really exciting player and certainly someone who's very dangerous. She also beat, I forget who she beat now. I think she beat Karolina Pliskova maybe, and even Serena Williams once, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean she's
able to play with the best, this girl, and she's super dangerous.
Yeah, I mean you see there in Palermo on the clay, she beat Trevisan.
She's definitely a better clay court player, isn't she?
Beat Vondrousova that tournament in Palermo where she lost to Camila Giorgi in the 3.
Yeah,
she was having an incredible tournament there.
Yeah,
I mean, just going down there. I mean, this is from the beginning of the year in Acapulco. She beat Venus Williams, Podoroska. So, yeah, she's going to be. She's like the future of sort of women's tennis a little bit as well. We sort of, I think we both agree that we really see her reaching some dizzy heights in the women's game. So, what
Venus Williams she beat there as well? Did you say?
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah. Venus. She's 104 in the world now, which I know it's 104 doesn't sound like much, but when you're 20 years old, that is pretty big.
It's a good ranking. It's quite solid, and I think she's going to be well within top 100, maybe even pushing top 50 by the end of the year. She's got the bags of potential. It just depends if she can pull off the results. Talking about this Marina, I know that people talking about it in the comments. We probably should have a look at her, to be fair, because it's an interesting story for sure. She went through some depression, but now she's overcome it and she's come back like through the loneliness and pressure of the sport. So apologies, to be honest, we didn't know much about her. Ben thought she was a young player.
There you go. That's what I know.
That's worse.
I know. There you go. So she's 30. So that's young for me, mate. I mean, to be honest. So,
but anyway, let's get on to number 3.
Right, number 3. Number 3 on our list is well, this is a really even. I don't know if is it more promising than number 4. I think for you're seeing it as more promising than Kaja Juvan. It's a young French player who is Clara Burel.
Yeah,
is that the correct pronunciation? I hope.
I'm not sure, mate. Clara Burel, she's from France, 19 years old, 236 in the world right now. Her junior career was pretty incredible, to be fair. She reached 2 slam finals, the Australian and the US Open, 2018. So it just proves that this kind of surface is perfect for her, considering one was actually at the Australian Open.
Yeah.
And the other was US Open. So
wow.
She also won a silver medal at the 2018 Youth Olympics in Buenos Aires.
Nice.
And she rose to world number 1. Must be on the juniors in October 2018. So this girl had one of the best junior careers you could possibly have. She then went on to the ITF circuit, didn't do too bad there as well. I think she won a title.
Yeah.
She won an ITF title, which is pretty impressive.
Yep, very impressive.
What's this? She won her first tour level match during 2020 Strasbourg against Zhang, I believe. No, Bondarenko she beat.
Very good, very good. She's obviously a quality player, and you can see from the standard that she's setting from all of these wins that she's popping on her record. Let's just have a quick look down.
Yeah, she did make the grand. She made 2019 Australian Open as well. Funny enough, the main draw, which is crazy because she must have been 17 then. She lost against Suarez Navarro, who was world number 23 at the time.
I've seen Suarez Navarro playing live at Wimbledon, and she is quality. She's so good. Very, very good player. Solid. To go at someone like her is no surprise, really. So
she's not pulled off the most amazing results recently. There's a lot of red there, you could say, but she has potential for me. So if you go to some of her recent stuff,
well, look at this. She beat Kaja Juvan, Rus. She
has the potential. I feel like she's still growing into her body and sort of developing. There's other younger players who have been able to get there quicker, but every single player is different, and not everyone progresses at the same speed. Maybe she had such a bright start. She's going to have a few years where she's not really reaching the heights, and then it could just all click for her. And who's to say 2021 isn't that year? Because we can see there the 3 matches she's played in 2021. She's only took 1 set. And that was against Kalinskaya, who's a really good player.
He's very good. Yeah. Kalinskaya, someone you probably expected to have gone through and probably qualified for the tournament. She's 114 in the world, and she's taken her out in 3 sets. It was a hard-fought match, and the final set was your typical women's match where there was 7 breaks of serve in the final set, and in the final set. Sorry, and she just managed to break her serve to win it to love in that final game. But that's
GM there saying Burel was quite impressive at the French Open. Nice complete game. Her serve can be better though, but I'm sure that's something she can work on and improve on. But right now, certainly one to watch. And I feel like she's definitely worthy of being in our rankings. And that's why we put her at number 3, because she's someone who I'm very passionate about. Maybe not so much you, but I think you probably will. You're coming round to her a bit, aren't you now?
Mate, yeah. It's just one of these players. Like, I was probably a bit more high on Sherif than I probably was on Burel, to be honest. But Sherif, I've watched more matches, and Burel perhaps not so many. But I wish the best for her, and I don't think anybody's going to really want to pick her in the first round either. She's going to be a very it's a bit of a bogey draw if you're one of the sort of in and around just over the top 50. I think that she could cause some problems.
Yeah, no, agreed completely, mate. So let's go on to our number 2.
Boom, 2. And number 2 means a lot to me and to you. And there's one reason for that. Mate, it makes me proud to be British. to see a moment like this, and we get some British women into the main draw through qualifying as well, because don't forget, we're so used to having Joe Conter in there. We're so used to having Heather Watson, her going in there. But now we've got, well, storming in there, Francesca Jones, which is fantastic. And look how she did it, mate. She stormed it. She didn't just go in. She just blew the opposition away. She's like, 200 in the world? Whatever. Bang. She's gone, mate. I mean, so impressed by Francesca Jones right now. And what a great story. And she's probably just creating a few headlines. And she definitely is in the UK. I'm not sure if she's doing it elsewhere around the globe, but she should be. And fair play to her. Like, she's had a bit of a struggle in her life, and she's obviously has like it's some form. I'm sure she won't.
Well, I can read about it right now. I'll read it out, so I'm exactly correct on it.
Okay.
It's quite a mouthful, so it's hard. But basically,
Sure.
Jones has ectrodactyl ectodermal dysplasia syndrome. It's like a rare genetic condition that causes a malformation or absence of fingers and toes to those affected.
Yeah.
She was born with only 3 fingers and a thumb on each hand, 4 toes on her left foot, and 3 toes on her right. So she's had a tough start in life, where all of us, we're all born with 5. Well, I was going to say 5 toes. We're all born with 10 toes, 10 fingers. She didn't have that privilege, and many people, when she was growing up playing tennis, she always had a passion for tennis. Told us she was never going to be able to play. You're not going to be able to do that. And what she's done, she's proved everyone wrong. And it's just an amazing story. I'm just honestly so proud, really. I hope she can just continue doing what she's doing. She's got like a custom-built racket for her. I think it's got like a different kind of grip. It's a bit of a lighter racket. But honestly, I'm super behind her. And I hope she can flourish this tournament. And she's shown the tennis she's actually been playing. I think even over the last few years, to be fair, 2 years, I've seen her name kicking about a few times. Mainly on like ITF, on the ITF circuit and stuff. But I don't know if you want to bring it up, maybe her results.
Yeah, I can do. Yeah, so 1 second. Yeah, we'll just have a quick look down. I was just having a look at her, the tournaments that she'd actually won. She's actually taken 5 tournaments on the ITF scene.
It's quite a few. It really is. Yeah.
7 finals, and that's since 2017. So, and she's managed to win 2 in 2019, both in Belarus, which is interesting. So, but yeah, impressive. Anyway, and let's just have a look down to see who she's been beating. Apologies.
There we go.
Yeah, so you see that she's beaten.
I think that one there is actually crazy. Inda de Vroom, is it? She's a really good Dutch player. Yeah. Very powerful, experienced, and it's. Is that hard court? I can't say. It's gone white.
Doesn't really say. Really,
I think it is. It's rare. I'm not sure. I'm assuming it is a hard court, and Inda de Vroom's brilliant on a hard court. So, yeah, that's amazing. Really, Francesca Jones winning that one. Going down. Well, the others I don't really know too much about.
Nicolescu, really good result against somebody who I rate really highly. Nicolescu.
Well, we saw her at Wimbledon, didn't we?
Yeah, she
was playing at Wimbledon when we was there in 2019.
The famous slice forehand. All she uses is the slice forehand, but it's so effective and it's so unorthodox that it causes so many of her opponents trouble. And in this match, Francesca Jones was 4-1 underdog, and she managed to beat her in straight sets, 6-3, 6-2. So that's just so much credit to her to be able to go out and do that. I mean,
and even Machac, they're saying she beat Jana Fett as well. Yeah, but I'm so proud for Jones. Good luck for her. I think everyone's really getting behind her. Melez there, amazing. Thomas, cool story. It really is, and not everyone knows about it. I must admit, I don't really know too much about it until recently. So,
I think we got to be.
I've always known about her as a player, but I just didn't know the whole story that goes with her as a person. And I've always actually been really impressed. I enjoy watching her. I think she's exciting. She's not really a boring player to watch. So hopefully we can maybe even do a live watch along for her.
Oh, mate, for sure. We've got to get in there for Francesca Jones, because we're going to be.
I'll be honest. It doesn't look like I'm not sure what's going to be happening with Murray now. If he's still going to be able to go. Obviously, Murray contracted COVID. Heather Watson. She'll probably. Is she in there? I'm not even sure.
I think so. Yeah, I think she's in there.
I think Joanna Konta is probably the biggest hope on the women's side. Cam Norrie, Kyle Edmund. I think he's pulled out. He's not going to be there. Cam Norrie could do something, but for me on the women's side, I'm probably most excited. Not even Joanna Konta. I'm probably more excited for. I was going to say Jessica Jones. It is Francesca Jones.
Jessica Jones, another new player that we just added to the ranks. I was just having a look down there and some more. Sabine Lisicki as well, another great player. Not so great.
A lot of green there, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely been having a good 2020 by the looks of it. Something's obviously
no hard feelings there. Losing to Podoroska as well.
Yeah, in 3 as well.
Even beat Djokovic. Look at that. In India, beat Djokovic.
Wow. So there you go. Francesca Jones beat Novak Djokovic earlier in the
year. Anyway, let's get on to our. I don't know if you've got anything more to say about her.
Mihaila Djokovic. Let's just confirm that is not Novak Djokovic. Well, fantastic. I just can't stop raving about this. I'm super excited, mainly because she's British and just what a great story. And we're jumping on the bandwagon, and we're just going to
beat Djokovic as well. So that's just a icing on the cake. So let's get on to our number one.
And number one, it can only be one person, can't it? Someone, like I said earlier, I'm surprised to see some of these people in the qualifying, and it's the Bulgarian. It is Tsvetana Pironkova, and she is there yet again, and she has done it in style, hasn't she? It's not been any.
It's been emphatic, mate. It's been emphatic, like you say. Probably didn't deserve to be in the qualifying system, but that's due to her ranking, 136 in the world. You'd expect her to be way within top 50 for me. I think she's that good. 33 years old, obviously had a big break from tennis, had a child in that time as well. She's come back last year. I think it was US Open, was it? And she just lit the tournament on fire. She was incredible. Really so good. I forget exactly who she played, but we'll get it up. So US Open, she started with Samsonova, beat her, beat Muguruza, beat Donna Vekic, Elise Cornet as well. And then she lost to, the one and only really, Serena Williams. But she took a set off her and it was pretty close.
Yeah, it was a very close match. I remember watching this one and it was just one of those matches you just thought, God, you just can't believe what you're watching right now. Like, this is somebody who hasn't played a tournament in 3 years, and she's now going toe-to-toe with the greatest of all time, consensus, really, Serena Williams, at the US Open, and nearly took her out.
Yeah, you need to elaborate that, and it's just mental. It's not like in any tournament. This is a Grand Slam, and I was riding her the whole way. I was just hoping she'd just keep going and going and going and winning, and I think we're going to see, hopefully, something similar here, because you can see there, the qualifiers, she blew them apart. It's just so good. And GM, they're saying even number one seed should be worried to get Pironkova first round. And I'd have to agree. I don't think a Sabalenka would want to play a Pironkova right now.
Oh, I don't know about that. Sabalenka.
Oh, you'd fancy Sabalenka to beat her, but I'm just saying, I think it would still be a scary proposition to be playing someone she's 33 years old with a point to prove. She's come on back to the tour, and I don't think she's doing there to make up the numbers. It looks like she's going for a title, mate, and a trophy.
Mate, she's definitely, she's on the warpath. She's just got a taste for it the back end of last year. I mean, you've seen, obviously, she went on to the French Open. She's still, she got straight into the main draw on the French Open and then just sort of worked her way. She didn't have to play Serena Williams in that one. Serena Williams dropped out and she got tied against her again, didn't she? But then she went out to Krejcikova, who, in all fairness, she's a great player, Krejcikova. So, yeah, I just can't wait to see her play again. I think that's another, all these amazing stories that keep on coming out about these tennis players, and just can't wait to see how they perform. I mean,
this podcast style was actually my idea, because I feel like this is all it's done is built the anticipation now for the Australian Open. We've all spoke about some of the players. We've shared with you who the ones we're looking out for, who we're excited for. Let us know in the comments if there's anyone we didn't mention who you're excited about, and we'll have a look at them as well. But I, for one, think this Australian Open, I say it with every Grand Slam before, it's going to be spectacular. Yet
It's going to be the best one.
So many other players who I'm excited to see. Carlos Alcaraz in the Grand Slam. You've got all the stories on the women's side. You've obviously got then Novak Djokovic and Nadal in this one as well. So let's just see how it all unfolds. We'll be doing a lot of previews and that before, obviously, the Australian Open starts. We've got the ATP Cup as like a little warm-up session.
Yeah, mate. There's a few other smaller tournaments that are coming up as well. If I'm right in saying, is that right?
We've got, I think maybe one on the WTA, two on the ATP, all in Melbourne. We'll be covering them, doing draw previews. We can do the bracket league as well. So join the bracket if you've not already. The link's in the description. Ben, I think we'll wrap this one up there, unless you've got anything else to say.
No, mate. I think that we've kept everybody for long enough. It's been a fun Friday night, but I've got to get back and do some more painting, I think, and decorating. That's what I do these days during lockdown. This is how we enjoy ourselves.
Melez, they're saying rude but not qualified. He's someone he's looking forward to watching. I'm a massive fan of Casper Ruud, so let's see how he gets on. Hopefully he can make a big dent in this tournament. I think it's a bit of an arse, not really a surface. I think I'd prefer to see him at a French Open doing like a nice run, but he's still definitely got the game to do it. So we'll keep our eyes on him.
Indeed, mate. Right.
But yeah, let's wrap it up there. Thanks, guys, for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this podcast. If you did, please leave us a like. It really helps the channel out and allows us to grow. And if you've not already and you're new to the channel completely, hit the subscribe button. And if not, we'll see you in a few days' time for us to do our 2021 predictions and who we think is going to win each Grand Slam.
That's it. See you then, guys.